Hi, Cornelia. From now, I'm going to switch to English. It's very my honor to have you today for a lecture and a practical around bilateral drawing. So, Cornelia is a leader in a groundbreaking art therapy techniques with 40 years of experience. She's from Australia and she's the author of guided drawing and clay field therapy, and she holds many regular workshops around the world. And she also is the director of the Sensory Motor Art Therapy Institute. You're the founder and the director. And I'm very honored to have you today because our French audience is really curious about the approaches in art therapy in different perspective and countries. So welcome.
And thank you for inviting me. And bonjour or bonsoir. My French is no longer very good, but yes, I'm delighted to be here and share something about the approach that I've called guided drawing. And I learned guided drawing back in Germany in the 1960s and 70s, when initially I was a client myself. And it is a body-focused approach, which was not initially how I learned it, but using bilateral drawing, so you're drawing with both hands, and using large, archetypal shapes, simple shapes, which my teacher, Maria Hippius, who was a trained Jungian analyst, used to evoke certain states, emotional states, physiological states, through rhythmic repetition of these shapes. So it was very much an approach that was not coming from a cognitive perspective, like I have an image and then I want to draw this image as much as possible what I see or the dream I've had, but it was rather, and this is what I've developed further and further over the past 40 years, that tapping into the body as the source of knowledge. And before I say more about this, maybe explaining a little bit why I was so intrigued by this modality, is that I was born in post-war Germany. So trauma was everywhere. And at the same time, no one knew the term post-traumatic stress disorder. So it was considered just as normal. And there was also this code of silence. Everything that had happened during the war, no one talked about it. And at the same time, it was everywhere. So I grew up with a lot of felt sense experiences, a lot of body memories, that were very stressful and they had no story. I hope this makes sense. So I was always looking for therapies that worked for me, and there were therapies actually that worked with the body rather than with story.
Talking,
because I had actually very little story, but lots of impressions of events that had happened. If you also think of at what age can someone actually tell a coherent story of something that's happened to them, where you have a timeline and the whole setting, I would say that a child would need to be around 6 years old before that is actually possible. So our formative years, where all these events are far more implicit or body memory systems, that they shape our identity profoundly. But because they don't necessarily have a story, we never question them. It's just like how I've always felt. That's why I am like I am. So when translating this into guided drawing, for example, you work with the body, as in, if I take the example, for example, a client comes in and says, like, I want to see a therapist because, this happened and that happened and that happened. And I will observe how the client moves, what the body is telling me, while there's the story. And at one time I will ask, I wonder, where you can feel that in your body, what you're just saying. And the client might say, oh, I've got a lump in my stomach, or my shoulders are hurting, or I have this stabbing pain here, that. And then I'll say, how about just drawing this physical sensation? What happened in your body, as in that lump in your stomach. Is that like doing this, or is it doing this, or is it doing this? Like, what kind of movement creates this lump? So we're not working with the image of the lump, but the felt sense experience and the movement that creates that lump. So clients might start with just drawing like this. Just to draw how it feels, the movement as feels in rhythmic repetition. And then there comes a second step where I say, I wonder if you had a massage now. What kind of movement would you want a massage therapist to make for you? Like, do you need a soothing movement? Do you need containment and holding, or do you need to release the tension and get that out? And then the second part will be drawing that. And then checking in again, how does it feel now? Maybe more tension, maybe less tension. Then you go back to drawing that. Or you might notice, it feels better here, but now my shoulders are hurting. So you go to the shoulders, and draw, the tension there, and just finding the movement as much as, this is how it feels. And out of that, then what do you need? What kind of massage movements do you need? And it is quite astounding that the majority of clients feels better after it. So it can be quite empowering. And you work through this, and then at the end of the session, you look again at the story, like you came with the question because this and this happened at work or with your husband or with your children, and you were very distressed about it. How does it feel now? And there is a different felt sense experience. And from that comes also then, I might actually, when I go back into my life, now go with a different confidence or less helpless, or I know what to do, or I trust myself, I can do this.
Because it started the body is bringing them in the present, and then
it's working in the here and now, and not with the story, but with what does my body need. And I guess it's always worked for me because I can talk myself into anything in my head. But the part that I deeply trust is my body. Like Bessel van der Kolk, don't know if you're familiar with him, who says, like, the body keeps the score. The body remembers. And somatic experiencing, which I trained a lot in, and with Peter Levine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And all the focus is not on the story, but on how the trauma is held in the body now. And to release that. That, and through that, find flow again. And if I can explain it with this little thing here, which I like, it comes from somatic experiencing, where Peter Levine says, this is the flow of life. This is what every cell in our body does. I inhale, I exhale, I inhale, I exhale. Everything is rhythm. Life is rhythm. And trauma is when
contracting,
or I freak out. But in both cases, the rhythm stops. And there's not much point in going, what happened? What happened? What happened? Tell me what happened. And at the same time, the rhythm is still stuck. So the focus is on how can we find rhythm again.
And also it were the past, the things that happened in the past to us, we cannot change that. So it's like find balance again in the body, in the here and now, to be able to live in this flow.
So this rhythmic repetition of movements that I've learned way back in the 1960s and 70s has actually survived all my other trainings in Jungian therapy and Gestalt therapy and bioenergetics and somatic experiencing, because it had that body focus and this focus on rhythm and remembering, as in putting yourself together, the split off part rather than the story. And as I said at the beginning, myself, I had very little story, but a lot of trauma held in my body. So I call it a sensory motor approach to bilateral body mapping. And I would like to focus on 3 themes which I have touched on just before, the bottom-up approach, shapes as archetypes, and what body mapping actually means. So let's start with the memory systems we have in the body. This comes from somatic experiencing. And let's start at the bottom. We have the brainstem, where we have procedural memory, which is, for example, learning how to walk or how to crawl or to learn to swim or hold a spoon to put food in your mouth. It's how babies and toddlers learn. And we also have our emergency responses here, such as fight, flight, and freeze. So the brainstem is very much in charge of the autonomic nervous system and our trauma responses, and including attraction and repulsion.
Is it the one that we call the reptilian brain?
Yes. Yeah. And then we have the limbic system, which is wrapped around the brainstem, which Peter Levine calls mammalian universal. We share it with all animals, with all mammals, not all animals, but mammals. And it describes all the emotions such as fear, rage, grief, joy, disgust, and surprise. Why I'm showing this is that these are the implicit memory systems. So there are the body-based memory systems. They are to a great extent not conscious. Like, we do not think about walking. We have learned it and then we walk, but we do not think about, I need to move my foot there now and then I need to move the other foot. Our body knows, and if you have ever experienced raw, powerful emotions, you know that they are in your body. Like, anger comes up from your gut and is like a wave that comes through, as well as joy or falling in love. And they are very often not rational events at all, but very much in the body also, located in our muscles and our viscera, our breath, our heart rate. Everything is affected by it. And then there is the line, and above the line you have the explicit memory systems, and that is the cortex. So here we have story, we have episodic memory, autobiographical, warm, textured memories and insights. So I like to compare this to an iceberg. So we have the little bit that sticks out at the top, which is the explicit memory system, which is our conscious biography. However, all trauma is held in the body. And the implicit memory remembers the embodied identity formations of early childhood and those caused by trauma. So, as I said before, that, for example, if I grow up with what's called complex trauma, so childhood trauma, it is like when a baby has been traumatized or a toddler, it is very rarely that the toddler will grow up and have a story, but there will be physiological responses to certain events or even arrested development due to what happened, to this individual's body. I can't emphasize this enough, but the ratio between explicit memory and implicit memory is about 20 to 80. So 20% is conscious remembered story, and then there is 80%, that is invisible, held in our body, and it doesn't have words and explicit story, but is powerfully influencing our lives and our identity. So how to work with this in therapy? So we know very much the top-down approach, where you have the focus on creating artwork according to imagined objects, dreams, and landscapes, or biographical events. And we know how to discuss these, interpret them verbally, and we'll occasionally tap into emotions or even body sensations. However, they're not the focal point of the therapy. A top-down approach is useful when clients need a strengthening of their conscious abilities, when they are struggling with identity issues, such as teenagers, for example. And most therapists have training in top-down techniques. And there's a lot less about bottom-up approaches, where in guided drawing, for example, we use rhythmic repetition. That would be one. Like just very simple shapes of rhythmic repetition. And out of that gradually comes sensory awareness. And at the third step, cognitive integration. I'm coming back to this to explain this more, but I'd like to take, first, like to take you first to the archetypal shapes, which guided drawing uses as universal principles to evoke inner order and structure. And there are two core shapes or groups of shapes which we use. There's the round, flowing, so-called female shapes that have an archetypal yin connotation. And then there are also male shapes. I just want to say that these have got nothing to do with gender. They come from the Jungian tradition. Carl Jung speaks very much about male and female impulses, anima and animus, for example, in each individual. And so here we have the bowl shape and the arc shape. And these round flowing shapes stimulate the unconscious and emotions. So, for example, when I feel stuck, it can be really useful to use them, but they can also rock and roll and spin out of control, because round and round and round in repetition can get overwhelming. However, these shapes support rhythm and connection as universal principles of order. And imagine these shapes drawn on large sheets of paper, as in, I use A2 size, so it's about 50 by 70 centimeters, or think of it as an entire wall so you can project your body onto it. So this does not work when the paper is too small. And then to use both hands and rhythmic repetition in order to flow with these shapes until they resonate in the body. You don't necessarily need to understand what you're doing, but to have a felt sense of, for example, with the round shapes, coming into more flow. The other group are the linear, angular male shapes, which have an archetypal yang connotation. And the core one is the vertical or the horizontal. They stimulate conscious action patterns. Drawing a straight line needs focus, whereas with the round female shapes, the intention was all to get out of the head and to just connect with movement and fluidity. Here, with these shapes, it is about intention, direction. And for example, drawing an angle requires conscious intention. The yang shapes are ego strengthening. To make that clearer, for example, to draw the rectangle, you have to go one line, stop, make a decision, change direction, draw that, stop again, make a decision, draw that line, make another decision. So there is a lot of awareness of where I want to go and what I want to do. These shapes may resonate in the body as structural elements. If you draw it large enough with both hands in rhythmic repetition, the bowl, for example, can resonate with the pelvis. That is certainly in the body the largest bowl shape we hold. Or the arc become the shoulders. Or circles, if you picture two circles as breasts or lungs or the flow of breath. The vertical or the cross as to relate to the spine. We have a powerful vertical in our body as the spine. And the triangle and the square are spaces and mark, for example, boundaries. And the figure 8 or the infinity sign, I call it the lemniscate, is a wonderful shape for nervous system regulation.
I have a question about the drawing those shapes. Like the person goes and the rhythmic repetition movement, and then eventually it resonates in their body as pelvis or it's more like emerging from the process, right? It's not like, oh, I'm going to draw something around my lungs or the pain that I have in my bone. It's
okay. Yes. So the first step is like when I say guided drawing, it refers to inner guidance. It's not that the therapist guides and directs. And yes, for example, say you have like breathing problems, in your lung. I would encourage you to draw exactly what that feels like without giving you any shape. And but then, and I come to this in a moment, the therapist can use these shapes as intervention tools in order to help a client to find a clearer movement. Does that make sense?
yes.
Yeah. So, here, for example, is two drawings with the pelvis and the vertical as the spine. And body mapping aims to express the felt sense not through imagery, but through rhythmic repetition and moving with the crayons or the paint as it moves in the body. And for example, that offers the option to express trauma as inattention in rhythmic repetition. And that is a felt sense experience without a story or without interpretation or cognitive control. Peter Levine characterizes trauma as feeling helpless and overwhelmed, and that solutions do not come from remembering the story, but from nervous system regulation and remembering the dissociated parts, as in putting them back together and bringing them in flow. So, for example, here would be an example of, on the left, you have a client drawing huge tension. You can see the white knuckles, as in her feeling stuck. And then on the right side, you have the client applying a massage with finger paint to release pain and bring movement into bracing patterns, which offers an active trauma response and nervous system regulation. And being able to do this myself is profoundly empowering for clients. I recall a lot of traumatized clients who were suffering from like a whole range of physical ailments, because complex trauma over time manifests as pain, and often pain that's dismissed by doctors, like fibromyalgia or menstruation pain, or stabbing sensations in the body. And to be able to draw them and then to massage them can be very empowering, that finally there is a tool where you can do something about yourself rather than needing someone else to medicate you, or sometimes not helpful interventions. So in the therapeutic context, the archetypal shapes that I showed you before, like the bowl and the arc and the vertical and the cross, serve as the therapist's intervention tools. So this is movements that I can suggest as a therapist in order to help a client to release tension. For example, here you have the vertical, and then a corner, and then to release to the side, which is a shape that can help to release strong emotions and pain in a safe way, because there is the corner involved, this breaking point that makes it a decision. So it's not just blasting out anger, but to release it with awareness. And other shapes are designed to create safety, to provide structure, to regulate emotions, to enhance body awareness, to set boundaries, or to heal wounds. Finger paints can be applied like a healing balm, to soothe something that feels raw and painful, and to restructure identity. So coming back to the implicit and explicit memory systems, Yeah, how do you accompany clients with guided drawing? And let's start again at the bottom, what I've called flow here in this pyramid. So in order to support clients to actually find their rhythm, to trust their drawing. And when I work with adults who are capable of doing it or know me well enough, I ask them to close their eyes as well to have more focus on the felt sense in the body. And in order to make sure that they do not feel strange or stupid or that they're making a fool of themselves to sit there doing just these rhythmic shapes with closed eyes, I will accompany him with, yes, great, just keep going. Yeah, take your time. So to make sure clients find a rhythm that puts them in contact with themselves, because when you draw too fast, you don't feel anything. And if you draw too slow, you are too controlling. And then there is this window in the middle where you build trust and you find your groove. And you want to ask nothing with a question mark at the end, because as soon as you do that, clients will pop out and start thinking what they need to say.
It's coming up. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I was like, it's coming up in the mind. If there's a question, yeah.
Yeah, so at the same time, to support the relationship, to say, and great, just keep going. And out of that, then comes the fine-tuning of how does this feel? How does this resonate in your body? So to create sensory and emotional awareness, as I move in this way, how does this feel? I wonder, if drawing this, changes how you feel in your heart, or this lump in your stomach, or is there a change in the tension in your shoulders? And you almost spend a lot of the session in this dance between how and flow. So you notice, this feels like this. Like it's a little bit better, but there's still something that hurts. So you go back to flow and more rhythmic movement patterns, and then you sort of emerge from this and into how has it changed now? How do I feel now? Until there comes a sense of completion, and only then clients sort of pop out of the water, so to say, into the explicit memory systems, as in, what was your story? How has your story changed now that you feel different? Cognitive integration of what they shared at the beginning of the session, maybe updating belief systems. And I always encourage clients to write I statements then on their drawing. So I hope this gives you an idea. It's almost like how this pyramid looks. The most you spend in this rhythmic repetition, just in this flow phase, then coming into sensory awareness, emotional awareness, going back into rhythmic repetition, and resolving basically the issue on this implicit felt sense level, and only then coming out into revisiting the original conflict that the client stated at the beginning of the session. I hope that makes sense.
Well, I recognize the three brains, like the one reptilian, then the integration about emotional, and then get an integration in our mind to make sense about. But it's like bringing the felt sense of the body and everything back up about our understanding with the cognitive. But it's like I recognize the three levels.
Yes, but I think the difference is to a lot of other therapies not to find the solution in the cortical area through explicit memory systems, but to find the solution in the body, to engage the body to heal. So for those in the art therapy world who are familiar with the expressive therapies continuum, which was developed by Via Lusebrink actually in the 1970s, and she was one of the very first ones who linked neurobiology with art therapy. So at the bottom, you have the kinesthetic sensory level. And in guided drawing, this would be a rhythmic repetition of motor impulses according to sensed physiological tension and pain, sensing resonance in the body, which will lead to massage movements executed as motor impulses. And then in the limbic system, you have the perceptual affective level, directing motor impulses with intent, applying archetypal shapes to affect change. And you have the inner orientation, which only adults have, for example, that, as in being able to locate sensations in the body. And then there's the felt sense of encoded emotions, expressing affect through color, shape, and movement. And then the cognitive symbolic level, which is the left and right brain hemispheres linking implicit memory to conscious autobiographic events, ability to give meaning to the felt sense in the body, and updating old belief systems.
I matter. Okay.
Yeah, and that is the book I have written about it.
I will put the link of your books and the school also on the website, and when the information, like these people, they can get more information.
Do you want to? Do we have enough time for you to have a drawing experience, or do you want to ask questions?
I would love to do the drawing, and then I will ask question out of my experience.
Yes.
Like this?
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
And in order to just get a sense for what you're doing, I would like you to teach you 3 shapes as resources. Yeah?
All right.
So have one of your crayons or pens in each hand.
Okay.
Yeah. And to draw this movement Yeah, the bowl shape. And you can draw it like from this, like this.
So I do it the same movement with my both hands.
Yes.
Like this.
Yeah. So these are just like, I give you 3 tools because, like there are 3 tools to keep you and everybody else safe when you do it. So the first one would be hands together, this rocking movement.
Okay.
And you can draw it, on the paper.
So I do it then.
Yeah.
Do I close my eyes or I?
If you can, if you're okay with it, yes. And just draw it until you find a rhythm.
Just one moment. The camera was blurred. It was blurred, but I think I'm gonna just get it closer. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna close my eyes.
Yes. And pay only attention to finding the right rhythm.
Yeah, it's like rocking.
Yes.
It's
Feel how your body moves. Great. So that is the movement. It is literally like tapping into the archetypal experience of rocking the baby. So when you feel upset, which is quite literally, being pulled out of sitting inside your pelvis, like in order to settle and soothe, to just have this rhythmic movement. The second movement I would like you to try out is going up, corner, and out and release. Just draw it. Up, up, corner, and out to release. Yeah, and just do that in rhythmic repetition. Yeah. And you can wander all the way up and down your spine. Wherever you feel tension, you go there and out.
Can I stand?
Yeah.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And all that's important is that you have that corner. So whether there is anger or pain or fear, bring it up to a corner and say out. Yeah.
There's something dynamic.
Yep.
Like when I do that, I can feel the energy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. You obviously like that one.
I like it. It's very different than the other one, but it's energizing.
So this shape is for the safe release of emotions. And then the third shape is for nervous system regulation. That is the infinity sign. I call it the lemniscate.
Okay. I'm going to change my colors. So it's more horizontal one. It's like this.
Yeah. Just both hands together again. Yeah.
Okay. Fine. Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Alice. So the next part, I would like you to, I don't know if you have a second sheet of paper ready, otherwise just go over this one. And now you don't need to worry at all about these three shapes. Yeah, just take these three shapes as tools, yeah, that you have. If you get upset, you can use it for settling. If you have a lot of pain or emotion, use it for releasing. And if you feel stuck, yeah, you can use this shape. But now, when you close your eyes, I would like you to simply focus on whatever it is that you notice, where you feel tense or braced or flowing or blocked, and whatever is there, just draw it how you feel it in rhythmic repetition.
Should I name what it is to start
No,
or
no, just
no? Okay.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, and just find your own rhythm, your own shapes, yeah, whatever you need, and just continue until it feels on the paper and how you move on the paper like it feels in your body. And preferably with your eyes closed, if that's okay.
Yes, my eyes are closed.
Yeah. And don't worry at all what it looks like on the paper. Just follow whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Just keep going. Yeah. 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 Yes. Great. Yeah. Yeah. Just keep going. Yeah. Mm. And I wonder if you actually take the pens away and just do that movement with your hands on the paper directly.
The right?
Yeah, just to put the pens away. Yeah, just, yeah. And just use your hands, yeah, to do this circular movement that you had, yes. Yeah. Yeah. How is that?
Well, the fact that I touched with my hands is it's felt different. It's felt closer or deeper.
Yeah.
With the pen, there was a little distance in it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
now,
Yes. Yeah. 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 That's why to do the massage movements, yeah, with the finger paints can be really good.
Okay, so I would love that.
Yeah.
Um,
And a good art therapist always travels with paint.
yeah.
Yay. Yeah. And take your time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's much more.
So just feel that you don't need to say anything, just
Right.
feel how it resonates in your body. You have the feeling you can breathe better, for example.
Mm-hmm. Ah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
How does that resonate in your body?
I feel more. There's more relaxation
Yeah.
and drop. There's it feels like I drop more in my body
Yes, wonderful.
and a kind of a comfortable, safe, joyful state of contentment,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
peace. But it's a peace that is more sensual because the paint is smooth.
Yeah. So really think of it as a massage. Yeah.
Yeah, like when I receive a massage.
Yes. Mm. Yeah. And you could translate it what you just said. Yeah. Yeah. I feel, yeah, more relaxed, more grounded, more in your body. Yeah. Yeah. You've just fallen out of an airplane.
Yeah, it's true.
To feel more grounded might be something, very nice. Yeah. So that would be the I statement. Yeah. Of, I feel more grounded, for example. Yeah. When you sort of come out, when you do the third step.
So if I can,
Yes. Yeah. Or you write it in your words. Yeah.
in French, we said je suis ancré,
Yep.
means I am rooted or I am grounded.
Yes. Yeah. So I would hope that anyone who's watched this will be able to have this short experience of just working with tension or pain or a bracing pattern in your body and just drawing it as it feels and then the massage movement and just to remember those three shapes of like the rocking if you feel upset, this one to release any tension and pain, and this one for nervous system regulation, flow, and if you're feeling stuck. Whenever you need it, that otherwise you follow your own inner guidance and direction.
Yeah. There was a moment where I was doing those big circles, repeating them. It made me at some point, at the beginning, it was like, oh, I like the expansion or I like expanding my arms. But I start to feel a bit nauseated. And that's why at some point I was having more like angles.
Yes. Yeah.
There was something that was not feeling good about those too much round circle. At some point, I wanted to change the movement or the shapes, and I don't know what it is about at all.
Yep.
But I was just following.
You don't need to. Like it's but to follow your body. And to follow whatever your body tells you, that the body never lies. That. And I always take it that our body has only one interest, and that is to heal and to make you whole. Like nature is like sometimes I think like if you break your arm and you go to hospital, you don't want a doctor to sort of just break your arm again and again saying, what happened, you want you want a cast around it to create an environment so your body can heal.
And you don't need to understand how the bone is getting back together, all the details of it in order to heal.
Yeah. But you have to create the environment through the movement, through listening to your body, to be able to heal.
There was another moment where I was feeling good, and I think I had I had something with my voice, like the body is expressing, not only with movement but also with the sound of.
Great.
I was feeling that to hum or almost singing. But I don't know, it's like, it's there.
Yeah. And I like that we don't need to understand it, but at the same time, like usually, when you start with a particular question, you do get an answer at the end. So maybe I can just say that for anyone who's interested in learning more about this, that there is an online training course that can be accessed through my website, and that for all those who speak English, and I think it won't take long where AI is capable enough to actually do translations quite easily. Yeah.
So there you have a training around
guided drawing. Yes. Yeah.
And it's online, and people, they learn how to be able to accompany client with this modality.
Yeah. So it goes over 7 weeks, and so it's a course, and it's about 3 hours per week in tutorials, plus drawing yourself. And each week has a full-length therapy session with real clients to illustrate how to apply the work. So it's based on the book Healing Trauma with guided drawing.
I just want to add that people who listen to us, if you work, you learn, you have the training, and then you have clients, just always seek supervision to be able to, because I was doing a demo there, and I'm not in therapy with serious mental health problem. But if you work with people with that, super be careful about who. And also, do you recommend working online with clients with this modality, or it can be done? It can be done. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But this session is like an introduction. It's a taste. Yes. What is possible. It's not training. You need to know more.
Yeah, but I saw some image with client doing it, and it's really I could see it's very potent, and it goes very deep with the people.
It's very simple and actually very powerful. I've worked even with 3-year-olds. It's different to work with children, but especially with adults who hold complex trauma in their body. It can be a very effective tool to heal.
Thank you so much, Cornelia. It's been very much an honor and a joy to experience it with you doing it, actually, because I feel I had also a transmission in my body, not only have knowledge about neuroscience and how it works, but really had a taste about how it's felt sense inside about doing it.
Yes.
So thank you. And it's so easy, so simple, as you said. So simple, and yeah.
And enjoy your holiday as well. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I'm grounded.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. And goodbye.
Goodbye. And I will put every information about your books and website and institute under the video, and people, they can know more by having those. Thank you so much. Goodbye.